Bitcoin's price took a blow over the weekend, hitting nearly $42,000. And the decline coincided with a series of tweets by Elon Musk, which insinuated that Tesla may sell its Bitcoin holdings worth more than $1 billion. So this morning he tweeted and said Tesla has not yet sold any Bitcoin, but the tweet in question was a response to Crypto Whale. So Crypto Whale tweeted, Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings, to which Elon responded, indeed. So I'm just going to kick this off to the panel. Who was following the drama on the weekend?
Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
This is a good weekend for drama. This is a good weekend for drama. It's like all-time greats. I say Naomi goes first. I feel like she was really watching.
No, I say, well, I mean, I was hanging out with a bunch of friends and we were like live announcing as new things were coming up. We were like, oh my God, did you see what Peter McCormack responded to this? Oh my God, now he's talking such and such. Like it was kind of like, I mean, I feel so nerdy now that I'm saying this out loud, but we really were watching this like a live spectator sport. It's like the closest thing I get to watching sports is watching crypto Twitter. No, it's interesting because like you have Elon who's clearly just not impressed with the crypto space, right? So Peter McCormack apparently also posted a Twitter thread about Musk's criticism of Bitcoin. And then Elon responded and said, obnoxious threads like this make me want to go all in on Doge. I totally resonate with that remark. There's so much obnoxious behavior in the crypto space. It does make you want to go like, why are we doing this? You know, people are creating this free money for the world to make all these people's lives better and trying to do the best they can. And, looking to make sure people's lives are more free and all of this. And then you just have people, like the same people you're trying to help, just turn around and hate you for it. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what tech you create that's good or it's cutting edge or it's innovating on things. People are just going to find a reason to hate it. And I hate that about the crypto space. And it doesn't surprise me that so many people rage quit. Jen, I'll throw it back to you.
Well, just speaking of that, you reminded me of yet another tweet we saw on the weekend by Billy Marcus, co-creator of Doge. So, hold on, I'm just going to pull it up here. He said that the war should rather be on scammers, jerks, liars, and the toxic crypto space and not Bitcoin versus Doge. He said that Doge and Bitcoin can work together. They can help each other out of the space. And after tweeting this, a whole bunch of haters kind of jumped into the comment section. So that just kind of points towards this toxic crypto Twitter space. But I don't know, Will, I'm passing it right down to you after that outburst there.
Well, yeah, that's hilarious because I don't think anyone's questioning if it's Bitcoin versus Doge. I think it's Bitcoin versus anything else, like Bitcoin versus like the idea of crypto working as like a project itself. Like, is Bitcoin too expensive for like numerous reasons that Elon has been pointing out over the weekend? Like, is that a viable solution for money or is it not? So it's funny, he's kind of like bring Doge into the equation, which has, that kind of started last July and it's only gathering more steam. And maybe it does turn out like the most ironic situation is what fate has for everyone. So maybe he is right. But overall, I think the weekend was just like, it was pretty intense. It was very funny. And at first I was pretty annoyed with all the takes from random people. But by the end of the weekend, it was just kind of funny to see like the two fronts against each other. And like Elon's still holding a bunch of Bitcoin, but everyone is hating on him now. It's like he has one of the largest stockpiles of Bitcoin out of anybody. But everyone thinks he's not a Bitcoiner anymore just because he had some questions that were kind of newbie-ish. I'll give it to you, Zach.
As the great Kanye West once said, no one man should have all this power. And I don't know who gave Elon such power over the markets. It's very silly. I think it really speaks to this sort of meme economy that we currently live in which these figureheads who, storm to the front of the parade and say, I'm leading this charge. I'm the CEO of Bitcoin. I'm the CEO of Dogecoin now. And they command attention and sort of, we like that for the entertainment value. No one was taking shots at Elon Musk when, he jumped on the wagon and it rallied from 30,000 to 60,000. But now it's like, oh, okay, now we're seeing the flip side of this figurehead complex that we suffer from in this space. So, I don't know. I was extremely logged off this weekend. I didn't see any of the takes.
Good for you.
This should have been this should have been expected. I don't think the crypto community was willing to entertain the nuance of this conversation. But when price goes up because of prominent championship of said asset, it's like the inverse is likely to be true as well. And we've seen that over the weekend, and maybe it's just sort of a wake up call. I got nothing more than that. I'm gonna toss it to Ben. I saw your hand went up.
Yeah, it's like what do you expect? You know, like people are going to adopt this, people are not. Like I think it's kind of folly, and we saw this with Vitalik last week. You know, taking a bunch of coins he was gifted and donating them to charity. It's like, what'd you expect? Like you just gave these things to him, and so like if you give somebody power and adoration and attention and all of that, they can use that however they choose. You know, I think like Twitter's a terrible venue for convincing anybody of anything, and I think that we sort of saw how ineffective it was for having conversations. On the one hand, you had like like tens long threads, like talking about, trying to reason out and argue this. And then, Elon being like, this thread annoyed me. And then you had other people being like, I guess we shouldn't have been mean to him about his SNL appearance. And so this is kind of the logical conclusion. I'm pretty ready to just like move on from it. Like that battle can happen, but I don't think it has a huge underlying impact on the fates of various cryptocurrencies more generally. I think it's just like some dude hopping off the bandwagon. Fine. Next.
I wanted to bring up an article that was recently published on Bloomberg that asked the question, is Bitcoin the AOL or MySpace of crypto? And I wanted to get everyone's thoughts on the panel here. Ben, what do you think? Are they onto something here?
I mean, shouts to this headline, I guess. That's an interesting angle in some ways. I haven't thought about MySpace in a while. Like, shouts to Joe Weisenthal in that regard. So, not really in my mind. I think Bitcoin does have a first mover advantage. It also has the most robust network in a variety of different ways. There's a lot to unpack here. And sort of MySpace obviously got cannibalized by its own sort of other social media companies. So I don't really see it as the same thing. But Will, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so Tracy Alloway, who's also works with Joe on Odd Lots, wrote another piece for her newsletter comparing the AOL and Bitcoin thing together, which I'm just going to say, like, that's a super tired take. And that hits all the SEO points that Bloomberg wants to hit for the weekend. Like, you got Bitcoin in there, you got Elon in there. Like, that was a great Bloomberg piece. But that was just, like, such a tired narrative. We've seen that AOL Bitcoin take for years now. But I'm sure a lot of Bloomberg subscribers have not ever seen that take, just because who's reading Bloomberg? That's such an old take, and it's just very frustrating to see. There you go. That's my little. No, I'm just repping CoinDesk. Okay, CoinDesk people who are reading it, they know that take is old. So